G'day, I'm Adrian, and this is my place. G'day everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm really pleased you stopped by. I appreciate you spending some time with me and just hanging out. It's pretty cool. It's the middle of winter here, so conditions to shoot outside are not great. It's freezing. So what we're going to do is go inside the room quickly, and I was just talking to Zig about one of my favorite plants and how many tanks I've got it. Sorry, you want to hop down there? And how many different tanks I've got it in and under different conditions that it grows. So this is the plant here, and I reckon once I finish this video, you guys are going to put it on your list of favorite plants and easiest to grow. So let's get into it. Go and get comfy because I'm going to talk about fish and plants. I'm pretty happy with the way the fish room looks at the minute. I did give it a clean up in preparation for Nick's next visit, which is very soon, but also for Eric and Regina Bodrock, who visited me, which I was so stoked with. So I'll go through these tanks, the ones that have got Susswassertang in them. I've even given the 8-footer a bit of a clean up as well, but I'm going to shut the door and then I'm going to show you this. So yes, Black, I know, mate, I'm trying to film. Ziggy's next door at his best mate Riley's, and Black has assumed the deputy sheriff role of harassing me and making sure everything's okay. Anyway, Susswassertang. So this is a clear plastic tub, and as you can see, it's gets the light. Hello, Miss Willow. It gets the natural sunlight of an afternoon. So even in wintertime, I'll open it up, and I've got a bit in each of all of these tanks here. But how that grows, I've set them up like little ponds. Really, I'm pretty happy with the way this one's sort of coming together. This is looking at those bubbles, I can see I need a water change. If you haven't watched that video, I explain all about that, and I don't know which one it was, but it was one of them. These are my gold dust platies, but the Susswassertang, again, I just jammed it between the rock and the wall. This one does get a reasonable amount of light from not only this light, but the ambient light from the spotlight, and of course the sunlight from here. So you'd consider that, I would say, medium to high light. And it grows beautifully. You saw how green it is. It's in all of those tubs, but I've also got it in here. Now, this tank is the Aponogeton tank, which is growing beautifully. I haven't had any problems at all since I put it in there. It also has my chocolate snails, chocolate on chocolate, and the Ruthven tetra. Too many Malaysian trumpet snails in here, so I'm going to do a video on eradicating them. As you can see, I have far too many. Yeah, that's a whole different video. So the Susswassertang in this one I would consider sort of, again, medium light. It has a spotlight above it. The tank is quite deep, so it doesn't get a whole heap. I've got some rifle shrimp and also a heap of my blue Neo Caradinas. If it'll focus in there, a few more down here. Another mystery snail. You'll see I've got it in the 8-footer. Now I've redone the waterfall. So this one, I've made it pretty easy to water. So whatever doesn't come up from capillary attraction from here getting drawn up, I just have to do this, which is pretty fun actually. Every day coming splashing some water around, but that's how it looks. And I've got that one in a pretty high flow situation because the other sump pump is coming out of there, and you'll see it tends to hug the rocks quite a bit, and it's growing in there no problems at all. Again, I would say with probably more light, you know, that medium light, I guess. And that is running off that Eheim filter there for that waterfall, which I'm pretty stoked with. So it's also growing over here. Now this is my sparkling gourami tank. I'm putting up with the duckweed up there because they do tend to like it. I'm pretty happy with this tank overall. You see there's a little bit of Susswassertang floating around there. It's not a high flow because it was set up that way, but I've actually got it set up now for the sparkling gouramis, which don't like much flow at all. They love the Susswassertang. It's been brilliant for breeding them and the babies, and you'll notice the way I've got it coming across the log here. So it will ultimately form a bridge of Susswassertang which will completely cover that log. You won't see it, and I'll show you that in my cherry shrimp tank. But it's coming on well, and I'm just going to keep on hedging it. Basically what I'll do is pull off all of the stuff that was just a hedge out of in the garden, and I'll just keep on clipping it as we go through. So that is where it's growing really well. Now the babies that I bred of the sparkling gouramis are in this tank here. What I've done is I've just dropped a ball of that in there, and that's probably doubled, if not tripled in size. Just running it with a normal aquarium light filter. I don't have my glasses, so I can't read the brand of that one. And I've also got, I think that's Christmas moss I've stuck into there as well. So just a sponge filter. The babies, there's one lone maculatus rasbora in there, and you'll have to trust me that there's a dozen sparkling gourami in there. They do tend to hide and not like the camera. Is that one there that I can, yeah, I think I can see one there. So they're a pretty good size now. Come on, focus, there we go, there's a couple. And that's something I was pretty stoked about actually getting to grow out, because they were difficult. All right, you'll see some of it just drops in here. Even the the trumpet snails aren't eating it. I've got to get these guys out. That's the L333 tank, but Eric Bodrock, I know I'm definitely name dropping, and I were talking about this the other day on how I'm going to get them out, and using little bottle traps. So that's next on the agenda, or one of the videos. Okay, I'm also growing it down here. So this stuff, whilst it is expensive, I guess, to buy in the first instance, you only get a small amount, it actually is very versatile. So this tank doesn't get a whole heap of light. It's got the one above it. I do turn the other front one on occasionally, but I've just let it grow between all of the Amazon swords. These are all my babies. Every fish in here I've bred, and these guys are for sale actually, everyone in here. So I've got all my cories and everything, so they love to go through the Susswassertang, and it's really just like a moss carpet for them. She's coming in nice, and she looks a bit like a mum, and he looks a bit like his dad. So do you guys, really. And you'll see here they just hang around it. They'll get through it, swim through it. If they were to have babies in there, it'd give them some level of cover, but there's too many predators for that to happen. What are you doing, Black? Yeah, the sheriff would so not be happy knowing that you guys are in here. Anyway, this is probably the next. This is the one I really like, pretty much because it's not accidental. I knew it was in there. I knew what I was doing, but at the same time, I have forgotten about it. So this tank I'm going to pull down. It's my beta bowl tank that originally I had. I think Stripe was in that one. I'm going to re-lacquer the timber and just sort of redo the scape. I'm going to redo underneath, and the reason the light's off is that I'm growing in the dark. This that was if you ever saw this tank on Instagram, there's a little bit of Susswassertang around here, and this is a multi-level tank, and then now it's just this big ball of Susswassertang. So that just is an indication of how it grows. I left the light off because I had a bit of hair algae previously, so I will go through and make sure I've got rid of all of that before I distribute it. But yeah, that's essentially a no light tank. I don't turn that light on unless someone's in the room, and I don't want it to look horrible. So it's also growing in the next tank over, which just so happens to be one of my favorite tanks. This one is my orange Neo Caridina tank. I've got that down low, but you can see it's growing out of the water there, and like the white light, I've got a little island off the top of some timber. Now what I do usually with the Susswassertang with this sort of stuff is I jam it in the sides, as you can see here, and it will fill in the space if there's any space left for, I guess, like a void that I don't want to have as swim space. I want it to be filled, and I want it to basically brush up and touch the timber. So you can see there it's filled that space nicely, and I can also easily get a razor blade in down the side of it if I need to clean it. So I will prune that quite heavily because I don't want it to overtake the Christmas moss and or the Bucephalandra. And it's also a brilliant space for baby shrimp to hide as well. So just around here you'll see I started with it in here to pretty much hide the glue when I glued that Anubias to that timber. So that's that tank. Now it's also all through the other rack over here. I've got the lights turned off. I'm going to turn them back on now so I can show you all the stuff there. This is, hello Miss Willow, I cannot let Ziggy watch this episode. So this is my fancy red tiger shrimp tank. I spoke with Glenn. If you haven't watched Nick's video with Glenn, he's an incredible shrimp breeder. And I think he's actually worked out what my problem is for breeding, so I'm not going to give away that secret yet. I am going to do a separate video on it. So if you're into shrimp and caradinas and you're having trouble like I have had with these guys, I'm hopefully going to fix that for me and for you. Now I've got nothing in this shrimp tank. That's going to be in the same video, the redo of that one. Now it's also growing in my soft water Corydoras tanks. This water parameter, by the way, is would be that. So essentially, that was their old tank. The difference in water conditions here is this will be quite soft, lots of tannins, few leaves, and there's no issues with that growing in that type of water at all. I've also got it in this tank over here, same thing. You would say a soft water tank. This is where all the tetras, betas, and my Adolphoi live, and it's right over there. Now, as far as hard water goes, this is the tank with my Julidochromis transcriptus, hard coral sand, obviously Tanganyikan type parameters, and it's growing in here, just little bits and pieces. I've actually pulled that out a few times. And it's also growing in here with my blue topaz guppies, which again I adore. Got these guys in with a whole heap of cherry shrimp. I don't know, is there any out at the moment? Not that I can see. Oh, there's one. So these guys, they love it as far as, you know, having babies like live bearers. Then again, it's an ideal plant for that because the fry hide in. What are you doing, miss? She's just been clawing me. Yes, I know. You want some attention, as usual. So back to it. This is another type of condition that it grows in. Same water. I've got it over here, and it's going nuts with what was supposed to be black Dalmatian platies, and they're sort of a bit of a mix, these guys. So I've got to work out what to do with them. But in any event, you can see the Susswassertang. The other one of my new favourite tanks is this one here with my black-finned rosy barbs. Now they don't look all black-finned at the moment, it changes throughout the day. Last time I saw them they were very dark. Perhaps as it gets closer to feeding time they will darken up, but the purpose of this video is to show you how I'm growing it in what is a pretty high light condition again, reasonable flow, and you'll just see it just fills in the gaps nicely. There are some cherry shrimp in there and also some dwarf Pygmaeus Corydoras, which I adore. These little guys down here. And I know they're only rosy barbs, but I mean I love all fish, but these guys are so entertaining. They're just always personable. And the way that their colour changes, that black is really distinct sometimes, and now you can hardly see it, so that's very cool. I did have some down here from memory. Oh yeah, I do, look. This is my black rose Neo-Caradina tank, and I should have a few little ones out at the moment. I do breed a lot of black shrimp out of there. The only other colour it throws is some really nice blues, but you'll see again the shrimp just graze on it. Now one of the things I'm really stoked about is this tub right here, which is full of Gadiids. So this is Eisenai, and I was fortunate to meet a chap the other day who had this whole tub that we swapped some plants, Matt Duffy and I, and he gave us this. I've got to take him up a couple more plants actually, but the reality is I've been dying to get these guys because I've got one of my bloodline left, and she's an enormous girl, and she's up here. That's her there. So she is very fat, very alone, a very healthy fish. She's been around for a long time, so I'm hoping I can get one more spawn out of her, because these guys are in the tub down here. I've got to say they'd have to be at least 30. I don't have the heart to put them outside. Actually, this winter I don't want to lose any of those babies. There's quite a few fry in there. So my plan is to keep them inside over winter. Yes, I know, Puss. Just give me a second. Keep them inside over winter, grow these babies out, and to probably divide them up in 3. Matt will take some back, I know for sure, and my mate Tony, I know, will have a tub for them outside. I had a chap give me some a mixed group of rainbows in here, which is awesome, and I'll work out something to do with them. And I gave this one a bit of a clean too, getting prepped for Nick's visit. So this is my grotto, as you can tell. I do like the way that red root floater has done that, and I like the way that the moss has actually, it's quite thick and fine, and it's because of the lack of light. Reasonable flow, but the crested Java fern in there has got a bit of black bead on it, so I'll have to get into that. Now, the tank that probably, I guess, was the catalyst, yes, I know, Miss, the catalyst to this video, I just had to open the door so you could see the view that I get, but this was, if you like, the kelp forest. Now, there's no light on this whatsoever. The ambient light is non-existent really, other than I guess that spotlight over there, which is for my green emerald cory tank, which I'm sure they look amazing in the sunlight there. Come on guys, come out. That looks pretty special here live. I'm hoping it looks the same on camera. Anyway, back to the Susswassertang. Yeah, it looks like a kelp forest, and I was just amazed at how this tank is just, there's no fish in it, hasn't been for ages, and I haven't fed the tank, there's no light on the tank, it's just basically a standalone body of water, and it's done that. So yeah, that's versatility for you. Now while the door's open again, I'm also growing it in here, which is just a white bucket. It's actually not fully utilising the transparency of the bucket, so I think I'll move it out of here. But yeah, there's a bucket full of Susswassertang. Oh, does it look better out here maybe? I'm going to get a better view of it there. So I think this would definitely grow better with the duckweed, with this getting access to the light from the side. So again, it's super easy to grow. I haven't found many places that I've killed it yet. Now it's also growing in here. You won't see it. I'm not going to stick my hand in because it stinks. But I've got it in, it's now basically, this bucket's turned to green water and has got some awesome live mosquito larvae in here, which I scoop out most nights, at least every second night. In winter it's nowhere near as prolific, so I tend to let them get a bit bigger. They're slower to grow in those conditions, but again, there's just a ball of Susswassertang in there, and it's growing in what you would consider pretty, certainly not good conditions for a fish with that amount of snails in there and mosquito larvae, and also feed that tub as well, so that it remains rather stagnant, and also feed the green water, but that's another place it grows. Now, as far as outdoor propagation goes, it is super easy. How cool is that Buddha? I have had that Buddha in there about a week, and yes, as soon as I squat down, I cannot get away from these guys. So as far as propagation or care outside goes, nothing to it. Once you've got your bit selected, basically drop it in the water. It's quite cold actually. I just sort of jam it in there between a couple of rocks. Let me just see if I can get a better shot. So hopefully you can see that just sitting on those rocks down there. Maybe if I zoom in it might be better. I can't see with the glare on the screen. So, but that's it, and I won't touch it. This is a no filter, no air pond. It has the platinum blue rice, Medaka rice fish, and my cherry shrimp in there. So that will go nuts. The only thing that would concern me potentially is hair algae. Now I've also got some in these other tubs. So again, just outdoors. I have the both the longfin and shortfin white clouds in there. Had no choice. Have my outdoor Enla guppies. So this is their third winter outdoors. So hopefully they'll kick on. And I don't know if you can see with the glare here, but these are my awesome paradise fish that I just adore. And yeah, I've been getting more and more enamored with them as the weeks go on. So that's outdoors. Now, how I do it indoors, just have a look at the weather. Oh, see, this is not good. So if Sheriff saw him there, that would be not fun. Anyway, it is getting late in the day, so I will go in, shut the door, and film inside now. Now, whilst this tank doesn't have any Susswassertang that I know of, I just had to show you a little bit of it, because this is what I get to see every night before feeding time. The majority of these guys come out and hang around. I'm doing a water change at the moment, so just before feeding time it's a perfect time to get them out if you want them to actually new your fish, especially cories. Feel these guys. I know I'm distracted, but it's sort of a worthy distraction, really. I mean, Susswassertang's exciting, but geez, don't think I can beat this. So I'm actually going to feed them Daphnia tonight. Hello guys. Frozen Daphnia. Actually got a brilliant tip from Eric and Regina, which was just such a common sense one, that when you feed your frozen food, if you drop it into its cubes, they basically said to me, you know, do you get an ice cream headache when you eat ice cream? And the answer, of course, is yep. So they said, well, same for your fish. So all the stuff out, that's exactly what I've done. I'm about to tip it in now and just show you what these guys are going to do to it. Can't wait, actually. Check this out. Okay, this is at room temp. See what happens. I love feeding this tank. Doesn't matter what I feed them, they're always very grateful. Okay, distraction over. What was it that I was talking about again? This guy over here, who is Mr. Bojangles, and he is in need of a better home, that's for sure. Probably a little water change, but there he is, I think, down the bottom. Yep, so here's a ghost knife, a really cool little guy, and he's a little baby. And you'll see I've also got Susswassertang just floating in here. It'll just float around with the air, it'll jam itself down behind the shells and other bits and pieces. You don't have to do anything special for it, but he's got. And then one last place that I found it grows, which was purely by accident, was I left this little tub of it down here that I was collecting for something. I don't even remember what it was. So it's been down there about a month, and it looks okay. So yeah, I guess that would have been getting whatever ambient light from there is, plus on my light above. So yeah, that one's doing okay. And this is some botanicals I picked up from the farm the other day. These are, I've got heaps of these. I'm just going to see how they soak up. I'm sure I could boil them up. And this is what the nut looks like before it cracks. You can see it's about to open. That's what that is, and that's how that grows. So yeah, I think it's as versatile as a plant could be, really. So I think that's probably the last place that I've got to show you with Susswassertang growing in it. So Maybe we might just take a look at the 8-footer before we go, eh? Okay, so that's another one done. What did you think? Is that an awesome plant, or is that an awesome plant? I've thoroughly enjoyed you hanging out with me. Hope you've enjoyed it too. If you like my content, please subscribe, make some comments. Yes, I know, Black. All of the comments, I love to read them. I try to answer every single one of them. I've got some cool videos coming up. I've started shooting the Corridora breeding video. That'll take a few weeks by the time I get all the footage together, so I'm going to put some stuff in between. And so if you're subscribed, you won't miss out. It really means a lot to me and Ziggy. Ziggy's actually wanting to renegotiate his contract, so moving forward, we'll have to work on that one. For every like and subscribe, he wants both treats and pats, and yeah, we're just working through that negotiation at the moment. So aren't we, Zig? All right, well, thanks so much. I really appreciate you hanging out with me. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Outside are not great. It's freezing. Sorry. And hello, Black Boy. I know, you weren't in that shot. What are you doing, Black Boy? I know, you want to be in the shot, don't you? What's he doing, Zig? Give me your ball. Come on. He's hogging all the camera, isn't he? Let me guess. What do you want? I know what you want. Alright, we got to go inside. Okay, just one more. And a pat for you. Maybe one more for you too. And you too. Alright, okay. God, this is why I don't get any done. Put some comments in the You put me off. You know that, don't you? Yes, I know. And Willow, Black, and you. All right, ready?